Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you love to have the latest news, reviews and opinions about TV and movies. It's all going to be right here, so don't forget to subscribe for that. Today I'm going to be talking about The Little Mermaid because there's been a bit of a talk about The Little Mermaid. The trailer dropped recently and we got to see our first glimpses of Ariel and things like that. And to be fair, I think actually it's not. I don't think that's going to be the issue. I know there's a lot of talk about the fact that Ariel is of a certain colour and perhaps should be a different colour and things like that. I'm not going to get into all of that. I think there could be other problems regarding the Little Mermaid than just things like that. I mean, obviously there are a lot of people who, well, not a lot of people. There is a group of people who are upset about that. But for me, it's more about how the story is told, and it's more about how it's portrayed. Now, I'm looking at some of the CGI effects in the trailer. Didn't look too bad, but they haven't shown a huge amount, and that's a little bit concerning because it could be that perhaps the film isn't quite finished. Perhaps the CGI isn't quite as good as it could be. It tends to happen a lot with their adaptations from the cartoon classic into the live action version. A lot of the times they don't really work, and I'm not entirely sure why Disney continue to do it, but it is a bit of a problem for them in the past. Beauty and the Beast was a great movie. I really enjoyed that movie. Not entirely sure whether Emma Watson was the right person to be the lead in that, but I think it's that's just a bit of semantics. I don't think it was that bad in terms of a good movie. It had some good songs in it, and they added a couple of songs which was fantastic as well. That for me was one of the best adaptations they did. Since then, there haven't been very good adaptations. I mean, I've seen Pinocchio, and I was a bit disappointed with that. I thought that they could have done better with how they dealt with that movie themselves. Some of the CGI wasn't that great. Most of it was actually okay, but there were some elements that didn't look right at all. And I think that's going to be the big problem with The Little Mermaid. It's not going to be about who plays which character. It's going to be going down to the story. It's going to go down to what changes they've made between the adaptation and the cartoon version. It's going to go down to how well the CGI looks. If the CGI doesn't look good, then there's a possibility people aren't going to be very happy with it. Because let's face it, CGI now becomes such a huge part of many movies that people are now starting to critique it on its own merits. So it's going to be like, this movie had a great storyline, this movie had great acting in it, but the CGI was rubbish. And it's becoming more and more apparent now with each new Disney project that there were reports about how they weren't very good, weren't very nice to their CGI people, to the graphic designers, stuff like that. They weren't very nice to them, to the artists, and how they made them work really hard and things like that, and weren't giving them time to complete their projects. And it seems to be the case in some of these situations. I mean, She-Hulk has got some awful CGI in it. And I know we're talking about a TV show, and you shouldn't necessarily expect the same level of effects in a TV show than you would from a movie. But I think there's still some issues in there. And I think that if Little Mermaid can pull it out of the bag, I think it's going to be going down to the story. It's going to go down to the acting, and it's going to go down to the CGI. Those are the things that most people are thinking about, and most people are worried about. So I think if they can nail those three things, then they may well have a good show, may well have a good movie. But if they can't nail those three things, then I don't think it's going to work. I think it's going to go the way that some of the others have gone, and that's going to be a bit of a negative reaction from the fans. I'm a bit concerned that Ariel doesn't have the red hair. I mean, I was quite I was expecting to see the red hair. Maybe they just wanted to have a more natural look. I don't know, but I just think I would have liked to have seen the red hair. That would have been quite nice. Not necessarily bright, shocking red, but like maybe a nice amber colour would have been quite nice. I think that would have gone quite well. But anyway, I'm just nitpicking on there. Just nothing particularly to worry about. But I think that this movie will do well if they can stick the landing with those three things. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think about the Little Mermaid trailer? Do you think it's going to be a success, or do you think that it's just going to go wrong, and that you've seen the trailer, you didn't like it, and you're not entirely happy with how it's going to go? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And also, as I said before, don't forget to subscribe if you want to support the channel. See you later.